It totally does. There's no way that you can even compare the two. Clowns are way scarier than spiders.
Hey, Simon, can you settle something for us?
Certainly.
What's scarier, a children's entertainer that wears polka dots?
Or a tiny little bug that can easily be squashed.
Oh, yes. Typical cases of coulrophobia and arachnophobia. Neither is very scary. They're just irrational fears, although legitimate. Clowns are nothing more than people dressed up in silly costumes. There is usually no reason to fear them. And spiders are essential creatures to balance out the ecosystem. They are very important, actually.
Spiders are creatures feared by many. However, these little arachnids are more beneficial than harmful. Spiders serve as natural insect pest control. They capture mosquitoes, flies, and other bugs by trapping them in their webs and by chasing them. Thus, spiders control the population of these insects, balancing out the ecosystem. Still not convinced that spiders are our friends and beneficial to the environment? Well, consider a world where all spiders were gone. Soon enough, the population of insects would skyrocket, making everyday life unbearable. And in a world with so many insects, plants would suffer. Food supplies would diminish, causing famines or lack of food, and therefore conflicts would rise. Now that would be scary. Some spiders are dangerous though, so it's best to keep your distance when in doubt. But don't worry, most of those spiders are usually hard to find. A spider bite is usually as harmful as a mosquito or bee sting. Although spiders are known to occasionally bite humans, most of the time they do so in self-defense, and only a few have venom that can potentially harm. For that fact, their venom, deadly to insects but harmless to vertebrates, could be used as a less polluting alternative to chemical pesticides. Interestingly, there is a vegetarian species of spider from Mexico. It eats the buds of an acacia tree that has hollow stems where highly aggressive ants live in. So unless you're an insect, you have no reason to fear spiders.
See, Lisa? Even though spiders are scary looking, there's generally nothing to be worried about. And Cedric, clowns are just people dressed up to be funny.
Well, just don't bring any clowns near me and I'll be fine.
Hey, what? Is the circus in town? What's the deal with all the clown talk?
We're talking about fears, Nick. Cedric and I are afraid of clowns and spiders. What are you afraid of?
Me? I'm not afraid of anything.
Ha! Everyone is scared of something, Nick.
Oh, yeah? Well, what are you afraid of?
Ever since I lost my grandmother, I've been really scared of losing my parents. I'm afraid of how I'd live without them, and I'm afraid of who'd take care of me the same way they do. But even though I'm afraid, I don't let it get to me. It's okay to be afraid of something. It's only human. But it becomes a problem when this fear takes over, and it becomes a burden.
I'm really not afraid of anything. I'm the leader. Not being afraid is part of being a good leader.
Not necessarily true. There have been a lot of leaders that were scared but overcame their fear.
After the prophet Elijah had proven to the people of Israel God's power through the altar of fire, the evil queen Jezebel sent soldiers after Elijah. He felt great fear and decided to run into the wilderness for 1 day straight. "I'm very afraid of what Jezebel can do to me." He stopped and sat beneath a juniper tree. "Lord, it is enough. Take my life away. I am not better than my ancestors." Tired, he fell asleep. An angel woke him up and said, "Arise, eat." The angel gave him bread and water. Elijah went to sleep again. Once more, the angel woke him up and gave him food and water. "Arise, eat." Feeling refreshed, Elijah went on a journey for 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, with the strength gained only from the food given by the angel. He went inside a cave, where the Lord came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" "I have been faithful to you, the God of hosts, but the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, destroyed your altars, killed your prophets. I am the only one left, and they are trying to kill me." "Stand on this mountain to meet me." A great wind passed by, breaking the mountains in pieces, but the Lord was not in the wind. Then a great earthquake came, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. Then a great fire came, but the Lord was not in the fire. After that came the sound of a gentle breeze. Elijah heard it, covered his head, and went out of the cave to meet with the Lord. And the Lord said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" "I have been faithful to you, the God of hosts." And the Lord instructed Elijah to go to Damascus to anoint a new king for Israel. And this time, justice would be served for those who had been faithful to the Lord.
But I have no fear. Remember just yesterday when we were playing soccer and we accidentally kicked the ball into the dark shed in my backyard? Well, in the evening, I walked inside the dark shed and got the ball all by myself.
Huh, you never told us that. I guess you are fearless.
Hold on a second. Something is not right.
No, it's true. I did go there, all by myself.
Nah, I'm referring to the treehouse.
What's wrong with this treehouse, Cedric?
Something looks strange. Does anyone think so too?
My doll is missing.
Yeah, right. And look over here. The cookie jar is broken and the cookies are gone.
True. Who could have done this? And how could they have gotten in?
Well, the window is open, which does look suspicious. We always make sure it's closed.
You think someone could have gotten
It's hard to say, but it looks like someone got in here and took your doll and broke the jar into shards.
Cedric, you were the last one in here yesterday. Weren't you?
Yes, and?
Well, you left the window open. Now my doll is missing. I'm just saying it looks a little bit suspicious. That's all.
What? Are you blaming me for your missing doll? What would I even do with a doll anyway?
What about Gina and Kiko? Where have they been all morning? We should ask them if they saw something. I mean, it is strange that they are not in here like they usually are.
Why blame them? It could easily have been you.
I don't know, Cedric. The culprit is usually the first to see it.
Whoa, guys. Before we start finger pointing, why don't we talk to the rest of the crew and try to figure out what happened here? For all we know, it could have been someone outside of the club. Or maybe you just misplaced the doll, Lisa, and forgot it. Look, we can get to the bottom of this without hurting anybody's feelings.
I'm sure I didn't misplace the doll, and I certainly did not break the jar into shards.
All right. Look, guys, I'll find Gina and Kiko and ask if they have noticed anything strange. Simon is right. We should talk to everyone here before jumping to conclusions.
We're gonna stay here, waiting for you, Nick. Meanwhile, I will set something up. I have an idea of how we can solve this.
Can you unscramble this word? The answer is coming soon.
Sandwiches are enjoyed everywhere, at a table, on the roof, even on a skyscraper. They are handy packets of delicious nutrition that can be taken everywhere. But can you make it anywhere with anything? Well, yeah. But I'll need a hand, or many, to put together a delicious sandwich and a refreshing drink to go with it. If you watch carefully, you can do it yourself with the supervision of an adult. To make this delicious sandwich, you will need whole grain bread, mayo, lettuce, tomatoes, olives, and lastly, hard-boiled eggs. The first step to making your sandwich is to smear the mayo on your bread. I'm not that crazy about mayo, but my machine seems to like it. Next, add the lettuce. You can't have a great sandwich without lettuce. For this next step, you'll probably need the help of an adult. Slice the tomatoes and hard-boiled eggs. I'm quite content with this sandwich, but let's add a little something extra. How about some refreshing juice? For this recipe, you'll need 10 oranges, 1 lime, strawberries, and some honey to sweeten your juice naturally. Like the sandwich, this recipe is quite easy to make. However, you might need the help of an adult for this. Add the freshly squeezed orange juice, limes, and chopped strawberries to the blender. Lastly, add the honey for that sweet flavor. Make sure your juice is well blended before you drink it. Recipes don't have to be complicated in order for them to be enjoyable. Now you have the perfect snack and juice to go with it for you to enjoy. This quick concoction is sure to be a crowd pleaser anywhere.
So, were you able to unscramble the word? Then here's the reveal. Judge.
Dean! Where are you? Are you here? Kiko, have you seen my cat Dean?
Last time I saw him was at your house a few days ago. Why?
I think I've lost him. Dean is the very first pet I've ever had. And the thought of losing him is horrible to me.
Are you sure you looked everywhere? His favorite hiding spot? Under your bed? Behind the curtains?
Yes, I've looked everywhere. Can you help me look for him?
Of course I can, but I don't think we can do it alone. We'll definitely need some help.
Nick, we were looking for you.
Oh, great! I was looking for you.
I guess we found each other then. But Tin is still missing.
Tin? Tin is missing too?
Yes, I've been looking for him all morning long, everywhere. I'm glad you are here. Maybe you can help us find him. What else is missing, though?
Lisa's doll is gone from the treehouse, and we have no idea what could have happened to it. Or to the broken cookie jar.
Yes, I was at the treehouse earlier, and I saw that broken cookie jar, and the cookies were all gone.
Oh, yeah, that is weird.
Simon is making a plan so that we can sort this out. We have to meet him at the treehouse now, okay?
But I still have not found my cat Tin. Can we at least look for him on the way there?
We still haven't looked in the shed.
The shed? I don't think he's in there. Let's just go back to the treehouse where we can solve all of this.
Well, maybe Simon can help us find out what happened to my cat.
If only we had a camera on the treehouse that could have recorded everything. But we don't have that, right?
That's silly. We never had cameras in the treehouse. But don't worry. We are sure to get it all sorted out.
And now it's time for Wonderful Inventors of Our Time. Brought to you by the Wit Factory, providers of information of yesterday for tomorrow. In today's world, we take millions of pictures a day and can see them instantly. However, people from yesterday's world had it a little bit different. You have probably heard of film, which came on rolls and had to be developed in an actual Photoshop. It could take days to finally see if you liked a picture or not. But even before film or digital photographs existed, there were cameras. Cameras have existed for centuries. Some painters used the camera obscura to aid in the creation of their work. But there was no way of permanently recording the projected image, except for drawing it. So Joseph Nicephore and Louis Daguerre decided to invent a chemical process to record and save those images for later viewing. That was how photographs were born. At the time, other inventors were also working on similar processes, like the French-Brazilian painter and inventor Hercules Florence, who actually gave the name photography to the process. However, Louis Daguerre was the first to properly patent the process, calling it the daguerreotype. The French government bought the rights to the invention and immediately made it public domain so that anyone could use it. Today, digital photographs are created through a completely electronic process. But the concept of recording images made by light exists thanks to these inventors. Without them, you wouldn't be watching us. The preceding message was brought to you by WIT, Wonderful Inventors of Our Time.
All rise. This court is now in session. Judge Simon presiding.
You may be seated. We're here on the case of the investigation of Lisa's missing doll and possibly Gina's missing cat. It has been brought to my attention that a broken cookie jar with missing cookies has been found in the vicinity of the misdeed. It has been considered as evidence, held here as Exhibit A. We shall start the judgment with the plaintiff, Lisa. Lisa, state your case.
Okay, this morning I was walking with Cedric and we were debating what is scarier, spiders or clowns. Obviously, there is no comparison. Clowns are nothing more than people. Now, spiders, come on, just look at them. They can crawl up your windows. And they
Objection, Your Honor.
even...
This digression is not germane to your argument. It's out of order.
Objection overruled. Please continue, Lisa.
Ahem. So we went to the treehouse to find someone with a third opinion to settle the argument. That's when we met you, Simon. I mean, Your Honor. Then Cedric noticed something odd in the treehouse.
Thank you, Lisa. Would you take it from here, Cedric?
Yes, we noticed the doll was missing. And the cookie jar, which had cookies in it yesterday, lay shattered on the floor. And the cookies were missing. Also, the window was open.
I understand that Gina was the first one in the treehouse today looking for her missing pet Tin. Is that right, Gina?
Yes.
Excuse me, Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
I conclude the same person who took the doll also took Gina's pet and probably ate the chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, it is early to draw conclusions about the cat, doll, and chocolate chip cookies.
Actually, wait, never mind.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I would like to call Kiko to the witness stand.
You may.
Kiko, where were you on the night in question?
I was home. That's it.
Oh, but how can you explain you taking the missing doll and the chocolate chip cookies?
Objection, Your Honor. He is accusing him without evidence.
Objection sustained.
Wait, where's my lawyer? I didn't take the doll.
So the cat, then, aha!
Yes, I mean, no. Wait, I'm confused.
All I know is that we have 3 missing things. A doll, a cat, and chocolate chip cookies.
They weren't chocolate chip cookies. They were raisin.
Aha! I knew it!
But how did you know?
I did eat the raisin cookies, but I didn't bring the cookie jar or take Lisa's doll, much less Tin.
So can you tell us what happened?
Okay. Yesterday in the evening, I felt like having some cookies. So I went up to the treehouse and ate the last cookies in the jar. It was hot and humid. The treehouse, not the cookies. Let the record show that the cookies were dry. So I opened the window for some fresh air and saw Nick pacing next to the shed. So I went to go get some milk and soften the cookies, which, if you remember, were dry and brittle again. Let the record show the cookies were dry.
Objection, Your Honor. The cookies were dry because I ran out of milk since I gave it to Gina to give to her cat.
Order. Objection overruled. Go on, Kiko.
So I went home, leaving the window open and the jar intact. But I made sure to close the door.
So who took the doll? But
Wait
if
a
you
minute,
ate the
guys.
cookies, that was what was happening.
It's
It's like
just
you
a
ate the cookies and then I'm not even
Order in the courtroom. We need to find out where everyone was during the night in question. Gina, where were you?
I was at Lisa's house getting milk for Tin, which, let me remind everyone, is still lost. And I have looked everywhere.
Not really, except in the shed.
Oh, yes, the shed, which Nick told us we didn't have to look in.
I remember. He said he went in there yesterday to retrieve a ball that had gone in there earlier in the day.
What? No, he didn't. As I was walking home to get the milk, I saw Nick's parents get the ball for him since he seemed afraid to go in there, for some reason.
So Nick took the doll?
Let's not forget my cat Tin.
It's always about the dog.
I always forget about my cat.
This is leadership.
This is silence when you don't accept.
Decades, what
Silence in the courtroom. I conclude that we should go to the shed and settle this once and for all. This court is adjourned.
Do you know why in some places judges are known to traditionally wear robes and wigs? Stick around and we'll be back with an answer.
Thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight. Missing cat and doll continue to puzzle a community. Our reporter, Kiko, is outside the court giving us the latest scoop on this trial that has everyone sitting on the edge of their seats.
So, clearly, someone has taken a cat and a doll and is not fessing up. We need to find who did this, because it is not funny. Not funny at all.
If anyone out there has seen my cat, he is gray with a white belly. Tin, we are gonna find you. We are gonna find you. Come home, boy. Come home, boy.
Very tragic tale. We'll stay on top of this developing story after this short commercial break.
Hi guys, I'm here in Italy visiting the colossal Colosseum, built in the year 72. Not 1972, actually 72 AD. It was like a gigantic soccer stadium back in the day. In fact, it was so big that it could fit up to 50,000 people. That's pretty much as big as a stadium today. There is one major difference, however. While in today's stadiums people lose games, people in the Colosseum lost limbs or even lives. With their rather macabre sense of entertainment, violent fights between gladiators and exotic animals took place. This structure was made possible by the ingenious use of arches. Without this Roman invention, the Colosseum would have crumbled. Well, it would have crumbled even more so. It is known as one of the new 7 wonders of the world, something that any Roman engineer would be proud of.
Thank you, Nick. And now for the conclusion of our developing story. But first, here is the answer to the riddle. Thank you for watching Global News.
Do you know why judges wear robes and wigs? They do so because historically, judges are associated with having a high social status. Therefore, they always dress in the fanciest possible way.
Okay, let's solve this. Let's all go in.
It's so dark in here. I'm afraid.
Look, it's the cat and the doll. They're right there.
Well, it seems that Tin is the one who took the doll and broke the jar in the process. It probably went something like this. Tin got in through the window and found the cookie jar. So I'm deducing that he accidentally brushed up against the jar, causing it to fall and break. So it really wasn't anyone's fault, guys.
But Nick, why didn't you want to come inside?
Because I'm scared of the dark and was too embarrassed to admit it.
It's okay, Nick. We're all afraid of something, but we should never let that fear take over. Remember, you have friends that you can count on to help you through anything.
And when you're alone and feel afraid, remember that your friends and family love you and you can trust us through tough times.
Well, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you in the first place that I was afraid of the dark. It was wrong of me to lie. I've realized now how much lying can hurt people, and I ask for forgiveness. It could have saved us from going through all the trouble.
We forgive you, Nick, although you did not take the doll or cat. Because you lied about your fear, it seemed like you had something to hide. Lying never amounts to anything good at the end.
I'm also sorry that I didn't tell you guys right away that I had eaten the cookies. Since they were for everyone, I had no reason not to tell.
We should never let fear control us, and lying is never a way out. We should always just tell the truth.
Looking on the bright side, now that this debacle is over, we can get things back to the way they were. Now, who wants some cookies?